Where to begin? It takes absolutely no fucking effort to sit there and watch what went on last night with the Eagles. By the way, it takes no athleticism to show up and play hard. I thought I was watching a Brandon Staley coached football team last night. It was like watching Brandon Staley coach. A football team just absolutely didn't want to be there. And that means everyone. Veterans. Everyone. Every single person didn't want to be there, including your quarterback, who I'm going to take a gigantic shit on today. $50 million? Son, you put more question marks for me on you and your future as a star in that league last night. Don't shake your head. Go do something. I'm sick and tired of coddling that guy. All of you people coddle him. He sucked. He was the worst player on the field last night. Baker Mayfield outplayed his ass. You had zero chance of winning that fucking game. I mean, I thought I was watching Brandon Staley, like I said, in Matt Nagy coach a team. I am sick and tired of not going knee deep into their ass. Well, you're getting it. By the way, I got another guy that's going to help me get knee deep in your ass. That's Angelo Cataldi at the bottom of the hour. Angie and I will go ass kicking. You know how some people go fishing? We're going ass kicking. You guys thought you were going to come on here and go, hey, Shoes, I told you. You had no chance. No chance. Oh, by the way, I want you Eagle fans and all you Eagle pundits to stop talking about Mike Vrabel, Mike Tomlin, Bill Belichick, Pete Carroll. You want to know the list you're going to be going off of? Brian Johnson, OC Lions. Okay? Bobby Slowick, OC Texans. Frank Smith, OC Dolphins. Brian Callahan, OC Bengals. Shane Waldron, OC Seahawks. Dave Canales, OC Bucks. Mike Kafka, OC Giants. Adam Stanvich, OC Packers. You see a dumbass over here that says wrong, Sills? Name me a coach that guy is hired that's been a veteran head coach in the National Football League as the head dude. Name me one in his 30 years. He hasn't and he won't. Don't do that. Don't make stuff up that he hasn't done. He's never hired a veteran NFL head coach, ever. And he won't now. And he won't now. These are the list of your guys. You go sit at the little kids' table. You're not getting Mike Vrabel to go to Philly. If Mike Vrabel or any of those guys go to Philly, Howie Roseman's fired. Howie Roseman's fired. Not doing that. The day you hire a veteran NFL head coach is the day Roseman's not in the building. Until that day, stop pretending. Every single show on my network, and the radio shows in town, we're talking about all the big name guys. Where is the precedent for that? Oh, he's going to change. Why would they change? They were just in a Super Bowl 12 months ago. Why would they change how they think? This is going to be another year or two before they change philosophy. Get used to this. They're not changing shit in the front office. They're not changing anything. Stop pretending like they're going to. They're blaming the coaches for this. Do you know the one thing the 2023 season exposed? How much power the head coach in Philadelphia doesn't have. We already knew when Sirianni was 2-5 that he's not a good play caller. What made you think he was going to all of a sudden invent himself into being Kyle Shanahan or Andy Reid? What made you think that? This is a process to get to where you want to go. You still got some years left. You do. Let's go to the takeaways of the game last night. Just the poor effort. I mean, poor effort. Players, coaches. And the most crippling thing of all, it was a lack of will. You didn't want to be there in a playoff game. Dude, you can't coach that. In essence, the Eagles coaches and players quit. You got a team of quitters and a coaching staff of quitters. Everyone quit. Man, I'd rather go down swinging than quit. Reports are that A.J. Brown was in Atlantic City last night. Why wasn't he with his team? Why wasn't he with his team last night? I mean, I was at the game last night, about 8 rows from the Eagle coach or bench. BJ and Nick did not work. Hey, Tone, can you put that super chat up for me, please? Asbury's the worst corner. I got all that. No, the one before that, the $9 one, please. I was at the game last night, 8 rows up. They're at Raymond James, right behind the Eagle bench. BJ and Nick did not work with Jalen at all on the sideline. I didn't see any adjustments made on the sidelines. No fire in Jalen. It was just terrible. Jalen Hurts was god-awful. Last night, he was god-awful. 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 Teams in anarchy. Baker Mayfield outplayed Hurts all night long. What did I tell you what happened? Remember I said this yesterday to you, Tone and I was talking? If the Bucs can run the ball, it's over. And the Bucs ran the ball, and it was over. And I knew it. When I saw guys missing tackles and not even putting the effort in, it was over. That thing was never close. It may have been close in score, but the Bucs should have put a 55 burger on them. The Bucs. You've been killed in the last 2 months by Baker Mayfield, Tommy DeVito, Tyrod Taylor, and Drew Lock. Killed. How's that possible? The Bucs defense was outstanding. You know the only person that showed up last night? Who's the only professional on that football team last night? It's not hard to find. There was only one pro on that team last night. He did his business. He went about his business. And he showed up, as he always does, because he's the only adult in the building. That was Devontae Smith. Absolutely, Tone. That's the only guy that showed up last night. You can always count on him. That's a guy to build your team and your future around. Eagles won't make a philosophical change until Howie's. That's right. You should be very proud of Devontae Smith on your team. He embodies the city of Philadelphia. Kelsey showed up. I should have known that it was over when they stopped the brotherly shove. How appropriate that the brotherly shove was stopped and Kelsey retires. I think that was a poignant moment in his career. I'm done. And he goes out on top as an all-pro. Remember what I told you? And I told Angelo, who will join us at the bottom of the hour. Remember what I told you guys? In 2 years, you're a 5-win team. How do you think that looks now? You're a 5-win team in 2 years. Worst tackling team in the league. Offensive coaches showed me that they cannot play without A.J. Brown, and Jalen Hurts cannot play without A.J. Brown. Yeah, the kid from Pitt, Cansey, destroyed the entire interior of the offensive line. Cam Jurgens was annihilated. They need a running back. Coaches have been exposed for the job they don't do. Can I tell you something? What do you guys think the most important thing a head coach is? What's the most important job that a head coach has in National Football League? What do you think? What do you think the most important? We're going to get to the numbers here in a second. What do you think the most important job that a NFL head coach has? Motivator? Authority? The number one job that an NFL head coach has to have, and he has to have this ability. Do you know what that is? Which game were you watching? Hey, Prince, your boy sucked. What game were you watching? Your boy sucked. He's a one-year wonder until otherwise notified. 1-year wonder. I'm sick of that. Show me some consistency, son. Show me some consistency. Jalen sucked. His 23 season sucked. You're not getting me. Your boy blew out loud. Baker Mayfield was better this year. You have nothing to stand on. Nothing. Except overpaying somebody. Overpaying. You ain't getting any breaks here, kid. You're in the wrong show. Prince, you better go to one of those fan waving shows because everyone's getting their ass kicked. Do you know the number one job that an NFL head coach has to have? He has to be a problem solver. He has to have answers. Sean McDermott couldn't figure it out what was going on. Had to do something. Had to do something. Do you know that the Bills haven't lost a ball game? I don't think since the Eagle game. They had to win out. McDermott rallied the troops. Kyle Shanahan, 3-game losing streak. Trey Lance disaster. Came up with answers. Problem solving. Your guy had no answers for anything, and anything that they thought they had answers for were all wrong decisions. You know why? He's not a decision maker. As I've told you from day one, he's a fucking cheerleader. I never thought he was a coach from day one. All of you did. Some of you, even on my network, are calling him Coach of the Year. I'm like, that guy is not a coach. It's so simple to see. You know, it's funny. My wife goes to me all the time. How do you know? How do you spot that? Because it's simple. Dedication, the attention to detail, authority, conviction, standing up for your guys. That's all coaching. By the way, you don't have to be, when it comes to discipline, old school kick people in the ass and screaming at people. Attention to get this. Dedication and attention to detail. Let me just say this to you. That's timeless. Hurt showed no leadership. Absolutely, Carmina. Zero. I'm going to get to him in a minute. Showed zero leadership. Instead, that fucking shaking his head. Stop it, kid. Stop it. I don't want shaking of the head. Get out there and make a play. And hey, Jalen, stop making business decisions. I'm convinced it's not the organization, it's you. You're protecting your wallet? Is that what you're doing now? Because unless otherwise notified, you're protecting your wallet. And you did all year. That's a you decision. I thought you were going to play balls to the wall. You were a businessman last night. And I do blame you for that. Kid, Boomer Esiason said something a long time ago. You got to learn to play with your contract. And he hasn't figured it out yet. Jalen Hurts was a businessman last night. Dude, I would never want that quarterback as my starting quarterback on my football team ever. Not happening. That ain't happening. That ain't happening. Not happening. That's Carson Wentz all over again. And a lot of come to Jesus conversations need to happen here. Let's go by the numbers on how you got your ass kicked by the Bucs. 9 points. You know, that's what the Bucs scored last week against Carolina. 9 points. They put up 32. Should have put up 42 or 52 on you. You had 13 first downs. Bucs had 23. You were 0 for 9 on third down. Way to go, Jalen. Worst game of his professional football career were in Tampa. His first playoff game and his last playoff game. This guy doesn't like playing in Tampa, I guess. Bucs are 6 of 14. The Bucs had 69 plays, and the Eagles had only 53 plays. 426 in total yards the Bucs put on them. The Eagles had 276, another shit performance. Here it is. Buccaneers, 119 yards, 4 yards a pop. Game's over. You had 42. DeAndre Swift was not an upgrade to Miles Sanders. And to that fact, when they took Jalen Hurts away in the run game, your best running back last year was Jalen Hurts. So you didn't replace two running backs, Hurts and Sanders. 15 attempts. 15 attempts with no A.J. Brown. You did nothing that was going to be conducive to the Bucks, and the Bucks ruined you. Vita Vea and them dudes, Cansey, destroyed you. No turnovers in the game. And the Bucks annihilate you. Hurts 25 of 35, 250. Bullshit numbers. Mayfield 22 of 36, 337, 3 touchdowns, 119.8 quarterback rating. Dominated. I told you not to let White get going. 4 yards a pop, 72 yards, 18 carries. Swift 3-4, 10 carries. Only guy that showed up was Devontae Smith, 8 for 148. The tight end, Otten, you had no answers for. And I don't even know who he is. I have no idea who he is. I think Mayfield hit 9 different guys. 9 different guys. What an embarrassing performance. Absolutely embarrassing. Embarrassing. Now to Jalen Hurts. Son, I'm gonna make a point. I'm gonna make a point to you here. I'm gonna make a point about before I go into this here about Jalen Hurts here. I'm gonna say this to you here. This is gonna be about right now, and then I'll expand on it. I think he made quite a few business decisions this year once he got his money. And I think the money did affect him now because his performance was indicated and dictated it. I have completely looked at what I have always thought of him, and I think he's a quality kid. I think he works hard. I think he's proud of what he's done. I think he's accomplished a lot in his young career, but I also think he's got a mountain of ways to go. And they have rushed the process here. They should never have given him that contract. And one of my topics at the beginning of the year was, do you think you paid him too soon? And I now am more convinced than ever. They paid him too soon. He's not a $50 million a year guy. Not the way that they want to use him. Last year was a $50 million performance. This year, I wouldn't pay him 40. Dude, you're getting beat by people that are terrible and backups and journeymen and gap quarterbacks, and you're getting beat on a weekly basis. You're getting outplayed every week now. He's getting outplayed every week. Every week, he's getting outplayed. Every week. Some go like this. Well, Sills, it's the coaching. If it's the coaching, fight back. Do something different. Stand up. Jalen Hurts was the worst leader I've ever seen as a starting quarterback last night. He showed nothing but defeat. From the first series. You don't like hearing it, do you? But I'm right. Long way to go, kid. Long way to go. Now, Carmina, I don't believe Jalen played like a self-centered. I just think there's 11 individuals out there in that huddle right now, and it's a one-on-one offense. And that's how they look at themselves, as one-on-one. Kelsey's retiring. Lane's probably thinking about it. AJ's on an island by himself in Atlantic City somewhere. The only guy's a pro, like I said. Swift's out of there. He knows he's not coming back. And then you have the $50 million guy. And you have incompetent coaches. You have a remedy for absolute and complete utter meltdown. That's why you saw your owner stewing last night. He saw the body language of everyone. He saw the body language of quitters. Complete and utter failure by the entire organization after such a marvelous year. You know, once again, I'll go back to that Jeff Kerr comment. The ability for Philadelphia to sustain success, you can't stay in a relationship long enough. You just can't. You can't maintain success. You're not capable of it. It's your insecurity as an organization. You're not secure in what you do. You're not secure in who you hire. You believe you have a philosophy and instead of letting others bring their philosophy. You see, you know what creativity is? I've told people this before when I get asked a question about doing this job. You know what happens to the most of the people that are like hosts and people who are broadcasters and talent that are involved in this? I told you this before. Most of the time, people get hired and they get real big jobs and they've got these real big bosses who want to try to change you. Do you know the key to being a good leader, coach, program director, head of programming? You know what they do? No idea is a bad idea. No idea is a bad idea. Once again, I will tell you, the number one job as an NFL head coach, and I've been fortunate enough to have Jimmy Johnson. You know what that is? Problem solving. Problem solving. Digging them out of holes like McVay did this early in the year. Or how about McDermott in Buffalo? How about the 3-game losing streak in San Francisco? Kyle Shanahan